Hello everybody, James here with RPG Channel, and all other issues being resolved, going to talk a little bit about the actual system at work in Devil's Crossroad. And everything in Devil's Crossroad is covered by what I consider to be a pretty simple mechanic. It involves your character will have a skill score. So say, like we're dealing with athletics. Your character's athletic score will be based on one of their attributes, plus a bunch of ranks and stuff like that. But what you end up with is a score that ranges between 1 and 20, with about 8 being the average for an untrained average human. And once you have that score, which will be right there on your character sheet, if you want to make a check with that skill, in this case athletics, you will roll a 20-sided die, and hopefully you will roll under your skill score. So in this case, if you roll an 8 or lower, success. If you roll a 9 or higher, failure. And that's about as simple as it gets. To throw difficulty into the equation, your checks will be made with what's called advantage or disadvantage, and what that boils down to is a number of 6-sided dice will be added to the rolling that you're doing. If you are making a check which is easy, and in which case would grant you advantage, you will roll a 6-sided die with your d20 and subtract the d6 from the d20, making your results lower. If you're making a difficult check, which would say have what's called disadvantage, then you roll a 6-sided die and add that to the d20 roll, which makes your roll higher. And if you want to get special about it, you can have multicolored 6-sided die signifying advantage dice and disadvantage dice, but you will never ever be rolling disadvantage and advantage at the same time. So, say normally you're making a check that has a +2 disadvantage, which means you would roll 2 6-sided die and add those to the d20, but say on the same roll there's another effect taking place which gives you a +1 advantage. Rather than rolling 2 6-sided die and adding those and then rolling another 6-sided die and subtracting that one, you just subtract 1 6-sided die from the disadvantage, which means the total result for that roll would be a +1 disadvantage. And that is the core mechanic of Devil's Crossroad, and everything is built on that. And that's really the core of the system. So, not a whole lot else for you today, but going to start getting into characters and some of the different type fun things you can do with the system in Devil's Crossroad. So, all that being said, I will talk to you later.